Hello everyone, it's Absolacario2213 here again with the fourth video discussing what evolutions I want to see in the upcoming Pokemon games X and Y. In this video, I'll be commenting on Pokemon I want an evolution for from the Sinnoh region. There aren't many on this list as Generation 4 introduced quite a lot of pre-evolutions and evolutions anyway. So without further ado, let's get to it. The first Pokemon on my list is purely on here because it gets teased so much. Bibarel. I have seen my fair share of Bidoof and Bibarel memes to know not many Pokemon fans use Bibarel on their team. Well, for battling. It is widely used for a HM slave though. With a base stat of just 410, Bibarel has lots of potential. The evolution could be a little wiser looking, or maybe since it's based on a beaver, it could incorporate a log somewhere in the design. Alrighty, so the next Pokemon is Kricketune. It would be awesome to see a Kricketune evolution as the design has a lot of room for improvement. Speaking of improvement, its base stats are at a measly 384. Seeing as you can easily catch a Kricketune in the wild, it doesn't really seem worth training to me. I may be wrong, but I always thought Pokemon that you can catch in the wild that's already a complete evolution isn't really that great. Training a Pidgey and then seeing a wild Pidgeotto isn't that bad, as Pidgeotto evolves into a Pidgeot, and Pidgeot is unobtainable in the wild. And even though Floatzel is a Pokemon that can be found in the wild and has no other evolutions, I still have respect for it as it's quite uncommon to find one, and at least its base stats are at a nice 495. So yeah, seeing a Kricketune evolve into, say, a bug that resembles a music composer would be cool. Okie dokie, I bet that this Pokemon would get used way more often if it got an evolution. Pachirisu. This little electric squirrel is so cute with its sleek and clever design. Its base stats sit at a meager 405, which isn't so great considering it has no evolution line. There are tons of fan art out there that give Pachirisu's design justice. Also, seeing as there aren't an extravagant amount of electric type Pokemon, an evolution wouldn't hurt. It could even gain an extra type, maybe Fairy, as its egg group is part Fairy, part Field, so it isn't impossible. So this next one is on here as I think it looks somewhat incomplete. Cherrim. Don't get me wrong, Cherrim's design and concept are awesome, and its base stats aren't bad at 450, but I think it's lacking in something. Seeing as it's the Blossom Pokemon, maybe Cherrim could grow a stem and maybe more flowers or have sprouts surrounding it, or perhaps it could grow more berries on its face. The idea of Cherrim having two forms is so cool, but the overall design could be enhanced a little bit. Okay, so the next Pokemon to be on my list is Gastrodon. The idea of having an east and west form is pretty cool, and with its typing being water-ground, it has a great defense against electric Pokemon. Also, its base stats aren't too shabby being 475, so there's no complaints there. However, I believe its design needs some tweaking. Its shell could be larger and perhaps it could grow fins similar to Lapras, but they would still keep their slug-based design so it wouldn't be identical. I've always wanted to train this Pokemon as I love the design and concept. Chatot. It's the Music Note Pokemon and really needs to evolve. Its base stats are sitting at 411, which aren't that great. As a normal flying Pokemon, I thought Chatot would be an ideal member of my team, but it doesn't appeal to me as a playable Pokemon. If Chatot got an evolution and learned some awesome moves, then I'd definitely consider training one. Also, it's based on music. Chatot's evolution could incorporate a treble clef or bass clef, or even have a pre-evolution with 2 eighth notes on its head. If this Pokemon gets an evolution, then it would be unstoppable. Spiritomb. Now I'm just putting it out there, Spiritomb will most likely not get an evolution, as its typing being Ghost and Dark have no weaknesses, and its base stats are already high at 485, but I still think it would be cool to get an evolution or even a pre-evolution. Spiritomb's design is quite simple and the colours could easily match its evolution or pre-evolved form. The way to catch a Spiritomb in Diamond, Pearl and Platinum is extremely complex and time consuming, So obviously Game Freak believe that Spiritomb is too strong to be caught in the wild like a regular Pokemon, but I think it should be made more accessible within the games, as some people may never even catch one. That's why a pre-evolution would be fantastic, and I think everyone would love it. This Pokemon really needs to either evolve or be linked to other Pokemon. Carnivine. Carnivine's design somewhat resembles Maractus's, Cacnea's, and Cacturne's, so perhaps these Pokemon could all be linked together somehow, or Carnivine could just get an evolution. Its base stats are 454, so it's not actually that bad. Perhaps the newly leaked Pokemon Uroto might be its evolution? Who knows? But I don't really think so, as their designs aren't very similar. Carnivine was always just sitting there in my PC, as there were always so many other grass-type Pokemon that were better than it, but if it evolved then I bet it would get used more often. So this last Pokemon is on here because I've never actually caught one, believe it or not. Lumineon. This neon fish Pokemon is really quite pretty and has tons of potential. Having a base stat of 460, Lumineon isn't that bad. However, having an evolution would be great. Since X and Y is based on beauty, Lumineon is the perfect candidate to be made prettier. I mean, it's a fish that's fluorescent. Game Freak could do so much with its design. Put glow sticks on it for all I care, but maybe it could be turned into a water fairy type, like Meryl, as I think Lumineon resembles a fairy more than Meryl. Well, that concludes my list of Pokemon that I would like to see an evolution or pre-evolution for from the Sinnoh region. Next, I'll be doing my last video for the series based on Unova Pokemon, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Please don't forget to comment if you have your own thoughts and opinions, and hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos. Thank you very much for watching.